Hi YouTubers, back to my Discus today. I've had some strange emails and I've had a couple of interesting comments lately due to Discus, on the topic of Discus. And it's getting a little frustrating for me because I've done several videos now on aggression and natural behavior of these fish. And I'm like a little bit confounded as to what the confusion is. And I think I might have discovered what it is. And I have given this a lot of thought. I've talked to people that are in the hobby. I've talked to people on forums about it, you know, and people that are really into the hobby, that have been into it for years. I mean, I myself now have been into it for years. I've had these same fish now. This is going to be the 4th year. These guys are almost 4 years old. So the topic is aggression. As usual, the same old problem, aggression. Oh, and I just want to have, as a side note here, I have a $20 bill up here. So in the hopes that if these guys will swim down here, you can actually see just how big these guys are. They're bigger than a $20 bill. So whip out a $20 bill out of your wallet or your purse and you will see that these fatties are bigger than that. Maybe not the blue male there, but definitely the pigeon bloods. They're big. I wasn't lying. They're big. And they're beefy. They're really thick. But anyway, these are adults. They're almost 4 years old. So anyway, back to the whole thing about aggression and the whole theory that there are these rogue killer discus out there. So after much debate and discussion about this topic, I think I've solved the riddle. And the riddle is this. On very, very rare occasions, when you have a breeding pair in a tank with other males, there can be some severe aggression over who's going to fertilize a female's eggs. Under those very specific conditions, there can be killer discus. Pretty much from what I've, heard from other people, that's the only time, look at these guys, they're fighting right now. The only time you're going to actually get fighting to the death in discus is when you have 2 males trying to fertilize the same eggs. In 99% of all the other cases, it's regular pecking order, establishing territory, establishing order. Who is the dominant fish? Not always the male. You might think, oh, well, the dominant male is going to be the leader of a school of fish. Not so. It can be either or. It can be a female. In this tank, the dominant female is the very large pigeon blood. Not this one, not JoJo right here, but this one. This is my dominant female. She's huge. And she runs the show. And she tells everybody what they're going to do, when they're going to do it. But everybody gets food. Everybody gets bullied. Except for her. She does not get bullied. She does the bullying. But so does everybody else. You'll see JoJo here. We'll pick on this guy here. Actually, it's a girl. Her name is Sunny right here in front. And this is JoJo. And the 2 males constantly are fighting. Because there's only 2 males. And here it's very dark. You can hardly see them. This is the snake skin. Sorry it's so dark. That's just the way this tank is, with a black substrate and a black background. And I still haven't updated my lighting, so it's pretty dark. It's not as dark in person, so it's actually really pretty in person. The blues look fantastic. I just can't seem to capture it good on video for some reason. But they look great in person. So anyway, back to the aggression. Here we go. We have a male and a female who are now fighting for territorial space. This is normal. Guys, it's normal. I'm telling you, I know it's hard to watch. Here comes the top dog. Now she's getting in on the mix and she's pushing that other female around. This is just constant behavior. But as a caveat, if you have a fish that is being bullied to the point where it's not eating at all, is it turning dark? Is it hiding in a corner and it's just, suffering? And obviously then you have to do something. Either put up a divider or get another tank and put it in another tank for a couple of weeks. Sometimes just taking a little runt that gets picked on and fattening it up for a couple weeks and then putting it back is enough to, let that fish gain some strength, gain some health, get some confidence back up, and you put it back in the tank, and now they have to reestablish pecking order, and it might have more boldness, more braveness, and that often can work. Sometimes it won't work, but rarely it won't work. This idea that people that are new to the hobby that are saying that they have killer fish, yes, I find it dubious at best. Does it mean it's impossible? No. But it's hard for me to believe that someone that is new to the hobby has a killer discus. I think it's more likely, and I'm just, saying, what's the most likely scenario? The most likely scenario is that someone new to the fish that doesn't fully understand the cichlid behavior is going to misinterpret dominance and pecking order behaviors as extreme bullying and trying to kill another fish. But again, I will add that caveat that if you have a breeding pair in the tank, that changes the dynamic. Then you could, even still, it's rare, but you could have a male try to kill another male over rights of fertilizing the female's eggs. Even then, with the experts I've talked to, it's very rare. And, more likely a male will keep fighting and keep pestering, and it will force the parents to eat the eggs. That's the more likely scenario. The parents will be too stressed, and they'll stop breeding in a community tank. But not always. Sometimes they're good parents. They fight them off, and you can get wrigglers in a community tank, and they'll grow them out till you have real healthy fry. I mean, that happens too. So I feel like I'm beating a dead horse over this whole discus aggression thing, but apparently it needs to be stated. This is normal. This fighting, pushing, nipping, this is discus behavior. This is how they live. This is normal. What you're seeing right here, right now, is normal behavior. And these guys have been together for 4 years. So you'd think, well, they have everything all set. They should be calm and cool. Well, you know what? It's a daily occurrence. They're still fighting for position. They're still fighting over little sections of territory. For all I know, they could be doing it because they're bored. I don't know, but this is just natural behavior. So you got to learn to love it, and if look at these guys, they will lock lips. Yes, occasionally my fish get damaged. They'll lose a scale, their fins get nipped, everything regrows. I mean, you have to have some common sense. That's why I really suggest you guys that are new to the hobby, go join a forum like simplydiscus.com, because that's where all the breeders, the sellers, the distributors, these are all the pros are on that site. And any kind of questions you have, if I can't answer it, I guarantee they can. So there's no reason why, you should be having trouble with your tank, or, there's mysteries about things. Do a lot of research first before you even get into this. They call these fish the king of the aquarium, because this is the pinnacle of your aquarium career. If you're into fish, this is the top fish, because they're not easy. They're not meant, this is not a beginner type fish. This is for people that have had fish and, they've done everything else. Then you go to discus. But I get it, they're pretty, the prices have come way down. So for $25, sometimes even less, you can get little discus and start a tank and, let it fly. But I'm telling you, if you don't do the research, if you don't learn about the natural behavior of these fish, you are going to have trouble. And that's no fun. I want everybody to love these guys and enjoy them, and really enjoy these fish, because they're cool. I think it's so cool to watch this behavior. I mean, like I said, this is my fish TV. I can watch these guys for hours if I had the time. And if you don't have this giant barrel or some equivalent next to your tank, chances are you're not doing it right. Unless you have really good tap water. And you know what? Some people do. Some people can use tap water. I did it for a little while, and mine was not good enough for my fish, but that's, that you have to figure out for yourself if your water's good enough to do. Some people can do it. I know Hans, that's all he uses, the breeder Hans, and his fish are wonderful. Highly recommend him as someone to get your fish from. Stenker fish are hearty, healthy fish. As long as you don't mix them with some crappy fish from, you know, Taiwan or something, or the Philippines, you'll be okay. You know, that's a subject for a whole nother video. But anyway, let's look at our little Cory cats. 1, 2, 3. Where's the other? There's the third one. She must be resting. These guys are doing good. Doing good. See some poop down here because it's the day before tank cleaning day. So my tank is not going to be at its cleanest. It's almost at its dirtiest. So, you know, I just thought I'd, you know, one more video. I hope this is the last one I have to do on discus aggression and behavior. But apparently there are still people out there that are, you know, fighting the natural pecking order by taking fish out, and, you know, they're just having all kinds of trouble because they don't get it. Like I said, you could have a fish that's in the corner, like this one back here. If you were new to the hobby and you'd say, well, this fish is always in this dark little corner and I feel like she's not getting enough food and she's constantly being picked on and she's being, you know, her fins are nipped, etc., etc., you might say, oh, I gotta take her out of there, she's gonna die. Unless they're really getting dark and not eating and dying, I mean, then you know that you have to do something. But again, that's really rare. There's got to be something else going on. The thing is, it's also natural when you put food in a tank like this, the big fish is going to get most of the food, and then down the line, the smallest fish is going to get the least amount of food. But if you put enough food in and you feed at least 4 times a day, I promise you, even your little runty fish is going to eat. And if she's not, you could take her out for, like I said, for 2 weeks, fatten her up, him or her, and put her back in. That's why it's good to have a hospital tank. You should have a 40-gallon breeder on hand, or at least a 20-gallon, because if you're going to invest the money in discus, you should have that. They're not, I mean, for 40 bucks on a sale, you can get a tank. It's worth it. Have a filter ready to go. Because things can happen. If you do get a sick fish, you want to be able to remedy the problem right away by putting it in a hospital tank. So isn't it funny that I put this bill up and now they don't want to come near it? Because they see it as just some weird foreign thing. They're all hanging down here. They don't want no part of that bill. So anyway, guys, just a little update on the discus tank. Everybody's alive, doing well, natural behavior. I hope your guys are doing well too. Let me know what you think. If you have any further questions, let me know. Take care. Bye-bye.